So, hey guys, we got Imani Williams. She's an attorney. She is in Palm Beach County, West Palm Beach.
Yes.
She's amazing. She's hot on the scene. Everybody in Palm Beach County is like, who is she? I want to meet her. She's everywhere. Every night out of the week, she's somewhere. I see her. I follow you on Instagram. She's at different networking events constantly. And so we became friends. I wanted you on the podcast. And so we're really excited to have you. And so we're going to put you on the spot with someone's alarm. Oh my gosh, someone's alarm went on. Stop. Just keep it going. Don't worry.
No. Sorry. I put my phone on airplane
These
mode.
young attorneys and their alarms.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I feel like an old attorney now talking to her. So, so welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're so
I'm
excited
to be here. This is amazing. This is a great thing you're doing as well. Yes. To just show a different side of us attorneys. You know, everything isn't so formal.
Yeah.
And we're legally exhausted sometimes.
Legally exhausted. That's what you said when you came in here. You're like, I'm exhausted. And I was like, legally exhausted. Yeah. Awesome. So cool. So tell us about us. You grew up here in Palm Beach County.
Mm-hmm. So originally from West Palm Beach, Florida. Actually, my family is all from Louisiana. My parents just moved here, you know, for better job employment. Florida, Louisiana, like, you know.
Do you guys talk like that? I watch what's that Gator show?
Oh, no, absolutely. Well, so it's like Cajun and then there's like Creole. So like my family
like accents?
Yeah, wow. I think Cajun is more like what you're thinking of. It's like real broken, like you don't know what they're saying except for them, versus maybe Creole is more quick. People speak more quickly. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Shoot him, that guy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, my mom's a speech pathologist, so she didn't really let me pick up on the lingo.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
That's that.
Cool. So Louisiana, Palm Beach County, you grew up here, you graduated from high school. Where'd you go to undergrad?
I went to Southern University. It is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's a HBCU.
Oh, okay.
So I went there undergrad and for law school. So.
Oh, they have a law school program too over there. Okay. And then so after law school, you are a COVID lawyer.
Yes.
I'm pointing at you.
Unfortunately. Yes, I'm a COVID lawyer. I took the bar in the heat of the pandemic. It's crazy because I think I applied for the bar right when the pandemic started, I guess, or
when it was going to be over by Easter. You remember that?
Yeah.
We just had Easter not like last week. And I remember Donald Trump was like, yeah, this is all going to be over by Easter. Don't worry about it, guys. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's over because they're, you know, taking away the mask requirements, the things about the airplanes, everyone in a frenzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the pandemic was like what, February, March 2020, and you sat for the bar in October 2020?
It was supposed to be in July. They pushed it back. Oh,
yeah, because it's always in July or February.
Right.
Wow.
Very stressful.
And you had the worst one because it was the first one in the pandemic. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. Yeah.
There were a lot of software like malfunctions. So that's why that was another factor in why it kept being pushed back, because I guess other bar exams going around like across the country were having like issues, or people's exams would shut off during the exam. So yeah.
So for viewers who don't know, usually like in a normal world, not COVID world, you know, I think I graduated at the end of April or May. I don't remember. And then you study for like a solid 2 months and you take the July bar, which is like around July 25th and then end of July. And then so you have like that time period of all of May, like half of May, April, June, and then July. And you study throughout that. And so your guys' thing got delayed, which affects when you can get approved and start making lawyer money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And those bar loans come due, I think 6 months, not the bar loans, the law school loans become due 6 months after you graduate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the only thing I'm thankful for the pandemic about, that they keep getting
those loans,
postponed. But I did pay off I paid off my interest before, like, because when the pandemic first happened, you know, my generation are like, oh, I'm not paying my loans. So people were like, I wasn't paying them anyway, but I was still like paying my interest off because, of course, like you said, they start coming after you for the loans. And it's like, I don't have a job. I can't afford to pay this back consistently. So I did end up paying off my interest. So I'm just, you know, seeing what they're going to do with this administration. You know, they say they're going to take away student loans.
Not law school student loans. Nobody's going to feel sorry for lawyers.
Feel sorry for
loans.
me, please.
Okay. So October bar exam, it's super stressful. Like when I took my bar exam, it's a 2-day test, 8 hours each day. I did not have any virtual, nothing. It was in person. Somebody in Tampa is basically got blackmail photos of somebody from 100 years ago, because you always got to do the bar exam in Tampa at their convention center. Yeah. And I don't know why, because like obviously Orlando is a more appropriate place, but 2 days of hell, like all day typing, like, I don't know, hundreds of snot-nosed lawyer people studying for the bar, taking the bar. So you had to do it from a computer in your house? From
a computer. But you forget I got the best of both worlds. So, you know, when I graduated, I took the Louisiana bar, and that was in person. So I got to feel what you felt.
Wow.
It's creepy. You go in this big July. So I did it the traditional way in 2019. But
in 2019?
Yes. So like when I graduated May 2019, like you said, June, July, well, really May, June, July. Sat for the July bar. I passed it, went back to Louisiana for the swearing in October of 2019, and then came back here, and the rest was history. So it definitely, I'd say it's like 50-50, because the nerves are definitely there if you have to sit in person. But then I also was worried at home for the COVID bar exam, as we call it, because you didn't know, like, what if my Wi-Fi just on this day like malfunctioned? And literally the bar is just like, you know, we have the number for you to call if there's any errors or complications. And my nerves, because I wouldn't say I worry a lot, but I like things to go how they're supposed to go. So that was in the back of my mind, like, you know, please don't let this system crash or computer crash. So,
man, I remember, so I'm old now compared to you.
Oh, please.
I'm 37. And when we took the bar, we brought a laptop, and they had a software that you couldn't use anything on your computer. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we had to go to our hotel to upload the Wi-Fi, because they didn't have Wi-Fi at the Tampa Convention Center. And so we had to go to our hotel, but it's like all these people go stay at the same hotel. Yeah. So the Wi-Fi was like locked down, and you only had 2 hours or something to get it uploaded. Otherwise, it was invalid. And I remember freaking out. And it was just like a simple low file, but Wi-Fi back then was different from Wi-Fi now. Like we probably have more Wi-Fi, 5G on our phone than we had back then at Wi-Fi. But that was really freaky. And I can only imagine the stress you guys have of actually taking it at home. And they monitored you guys if you got up for the bathroom.
So there was a proctor, I guess, that could see us, because it was required that you had to have a laptop. I mean, I'm team Apple, so I had a MacBook. So you had to have a camera on your computer, because there was someone, I don't know who, sitting there watching me.
Sounds
and that was weird. I'm not even going to lie. That was kind of weird. You should be able to watch
them back.
Yeah. So apparently there was someone watching us, and like, I think I was so paranoid, because like when I'm thinking, like right now I'm looking, because it's just a part of me. So they gave us instructions like, oh, don't look too far to the left too long, you know, things like that. Don't do anything that could make them feel like you're cheating. So I'm literally sitting like this, uncomfortable in my own home, like trying to make sure, you know, I don't do anything to alert or make it seem like I'm doing anything fishy. So,
and if you did, they said that they were going to bring you, from what I heard, there was like an inquisition where they would ask you, why were you looking to the left in this part? And why were you looking to the right? So that's
why I was really paranoid, but I'm pretty sure I was looking, because, I mean, you're reading, I'm thinking, I'm taking notes, you know. Wait, I don't even think, we didn't have that option, I don't think. I blocked it out, but I don't think we even had the option to have like any like pen and paper. Everything was straight, because they didn't know what we would have. So yeah, everything was on the computer. Wow. Which was another annoying thing, because I like to see things up close, just for details, like with the essays. Yeah. And like highlight, take notes, so I'm not going back up. So it was definitely a process.
Wow. What if, I remember when I went, there was people who hand wrote their essays.
Yeah, I would never. My handwriting isn't really
Who did that? Legible. I don't know who did that back then. It's weird.
People did it for the Louisiana bar. Like people really, I would fail because they wouldn't be able to read my handwriting.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they would do that. I remember just
and my hands would hurt more doing that.
Yeah, like the one hand. Yeah. So, interesting. Can we talk about you taking the Florida bar? How stressful it was in your personal life?
Yeah.
We can? Okay. Talk about that.
Thank you for touching on that. So, you know, because we've grown to be great attorney friends, that I lost my father in the process of, you know, becoming an attorney here. He's actually what brought me to Florida. So I'm grateful that, you know, God has placed me here. Literally, my father passed in April of 2020. And like literally probably the week after we put him to rest, I like applied for the bar. I started studying because it was an offer given to me, the firm I'm at right now. And I'm like, why not? And I think it definitely helped me just kind of with stress and coping because I just kept busy. I mean, they say that's a trauma response, but I just kept going. So it was very stressful because looking back, I realized how, lost and broken I really was. And it was stressful, but I think that was like my motivation, not to let his name and his legacy go to waste, because he fought as long as he could. So I know he's somewhere up there, like looking down. So yeah, it was very stressful time. Stressful year. 2020 was just. That was a rough 2020 year actually, I mean, I've only been living almost 28 years. Let's be clear, I'm not that young. But 2020 is definitely the worst year of my journey so far. But I know it's made me a
you got nowhere to go but
person.
Up.
Yeah,
gotta stay positive.
Yeah.
Wow. So he didn't pass related to COVID. He had medical issues.
So my father was actually diagnosed with Parkinson's when I was 14.
Wow.
And now that I'm learning more and even going to meeting different doctors in this profession, learning more about Parkinson's, he actually was very fortunate because he had Parkinson's for 10 years. He was functioning on medication. He was able to walk, do everything. He did everything still in his right mind. And then, literally 10 days after my graduation, just everything plateaued. And I didn't know because I was studying for the bar, so no one told me. So it was like, it was just a big surprise. I'm coming home.
The first bar exam.
Yes, to Louisiana. Okay. I'm coming back from Louisiana and I'm just like, what's going on? But I suspect potentially it could have been COVID because if he already had a weak immune system, because he wasn't actually in a facility, because it was, too much. I'm trying to start my career and he wanted that for me. And my mom obviously still works. So we had insurance, of course. So he was actually in a facility. So once COVID hit, and I remember that day like it was yesterday because I remember they called my mom, FaceTimed me. I was at work. We actually did like headshots or something. And and my mom called me saying that they're not letting any more, guests come because the pandemic, I guess, was starting to become more serious because COVID had been out for about a few weeks before everything started shutting down.
Right.
So the last time I saw my dad alive was on FaceTime. So it still haunts me to this day, but the last words he said to me in his right mind was like, you have to start somewhere. I think I was like venting about how stressful it was at the job.
Make me cry. Oh
no, this is to empower everyone to just use your struggle as your motivation, your story. So by the time the hospital called us, because they weren't letting anyone in, we got a call in Easter 2020. Oh, he's not doing well. He's unresponsive, blah, blah, blah. So they took him to the hospital. By the time we were able to see him, he's on a ventilator. So they claim they tested him a few times, but it was early on.
It was early in the pandemic.
They didn't know what they were doing. Yeah. So we don't have proof, but my mother and I strongly believe that somehow, some way, maybe a nurse or staff brought it in, and because he already had a compromised immune system, it affected him. So I don't know.
Wow. But
I just tell people he lost his battle to Parkinson's. Wow. And I try not to think about it so it doesn't anger me. But yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So that happens in April 2020. You're studying for the bar in Florida, rocked it, kicked some ass.
Yeah.
And then you hit the ground running because you're like all over the place. I see you networking left and right. You remind me a lot of myself when I was your age.
That's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
I'm going to get on your level.
Because I want to get on your level. Because you're at these crazy levels where you're going out networking every night. And you know what I love most about you? You bring your mom. Everywhere you go.
She's like my +1 because for her, it's like, I think she takes joy in knowing that, because I'm the only child. So I think she takes joy in like, okay, wow, this is what my child has grown up to be, because I'm a shy person. Personal injury is what made me come out. Like I have personality, but more so reserved for my real friends and family. But it's definitely, I would have never thought 2 years ago I'd be, like you said, going to these events, networking. I didn't know to do it. And 2, it just wasn't, my personality type. I'm just to myself a little bit. So I know you can't tell.
You're an introvert who's extroverting yourself into the community. I think
it's probably, maybe it is who I am now. Maybe I am more of an extrovert now, but definitely in my core, it's like I can be at home chilling with my few friends, my true few, and just,
no new friends.
So
I learned that lesson the hard way.
Well,
keep it tight.
I used to say that, but I've actually found that I had that mentality, but on this journey, I mean, if I had that mindset, I wouldn't have been able to connect with great people like you, because actually some of my, past associates, I should say, or friends, whatever it was at that time, some have, drifted off because we're just on different paths, and some have done some shocking things, so I definitely believe in having a tight circle. But I now am more open-minded to meeting more like-minded people, because everyone's not always happy for you. And I know you know that with all your... I'm not even what I'm supposed to be yet, and I deal with certain things, so I can only imagine
there's a lot of haters. The more haters you get, the better it is, though. That means the more successful you're going to be. It's like,
okay,
it's like
well,
a rite of passage.
I need
There you go.
cash flow to come in then, because it's crazy.
They're going to come in after they see you on this podcast. They're going to be like, how come I'm not on there? That's the first thing, a sign of a hater is, how come I'm not on that?
Well, you got to be awesome.
So awesome. I love your networking. You're out, you're meeting people. You're letting everybody know you're here and you're doing great. What kind of cases do you guys do at your firm? What do you like to handle?
Okay, so we are a personal injury firm. We handle automobile accidents, slip and falls, wrongful deaths, negligent security. Hope I'm not missing anything, but anything dealing with injuries. We don't do med mal. We don't do med mal. We refer those out.
Me too.
I personally don't care that much for slip and falls. From my experience thus far, and maybe I have years to go, but I find that they're harder to prove if the injury isn't that severe. And I know it's already like known to be one of the most fake accidents sometimes. That's what some people say. So from the ones I've touched, and maybe just starting being new and fresh, it hasn't been the funnest for me. Yeah. Automobile accidents, they're pretty
rear
cool.
End, obvious injuries.
It's pretty straightforward. I wouldn't say I'm a master yet, because I'm always a student to the game.
You're
but
gonna be.
Auto accidents are my thing. Like, that's something that
you feel like you could help people after an auto accident.
Absolutely.
You like that?
Absolutely. And then I was just in an accident last year, so I feel like that helped me understand how clients feel in the process more, versus just like straight pen and paper, reading files. It's like, okay, I'm actually going through this. I have to treat. I have to do all of this. So I can get how frustrating of a process it could be. But so I take that into consideration when, clients are sometimes,
So my friend, Josie Williams, super smart. You met her.
I just met her.
Likes you.
We're the Williams sisters. That's what she said at the event.
What?
We're the Williams sisters.
Oh.
Like Imani Williams.
I didn't even think about that. Wait, that's funny. So she totally loves you. I said, yeah, she's going to be on the podcast. She's like, oh, great. That's awesome. She's going to be great. She told me, Abe, you got to remember that this is your 1,000th car accident case where you're helping somebody, but this is their first case. And you got to treat every client the way, like that way, that this is their first case. They don't understand. Now, some of us I've had I've had this guy every 6 months. He's in a new car accident. I mean, that guy is crazy. But you mentioned slip and falls. And I want to tell you, I don't think that it's people like fake it too much. What I do think is people's memory is dog shit. I had a lady, she's like, yeah, I was walking, pushing a cart, and this, another Walmart employee just rushes past me and knocks me to the ground with the cart. And so I'm like, oh my God, that sounds horrible. And she's like, yeah. And she just kept walking off. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. How would a Walmart employee do that? It's awful. That's why I stay out of Walmart. I don't like Walmart. So yeah, horrible. So we look at the video footage, and the lady barely grazed her hip. And the lady kept walking. My client kept walking, and the Walmart employee kept walking. And I'm like, lady, look at the video footage. And she's like, oh, that's not how I remember it. And then I had another lady, oh yeah, I'm walking, I'm pushing a cart, and then the end cap of the aisle, they had some kind of big sign, and it fell over and hit me in the head. And the lady sends me photos. She's got a big black eye. And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. Like, this must have been a big sign. It hit you. This lady, no joke, walked into the end cap herself, and the sign fell on her. And I was like, but you walked into it. You bumped it. It's all on video footage. And she's like, no, that thing just fell on me. And I'm like, lady, I'm looking at the video. I'm going to send it to you. So people, I don't know what some of these space cadet people are on, but it's like, come on. Now we have some clients who obviously, get injured due to no negligence on their own, but some of these clients, that's what I don't like about slip and falls, and is you're really relying on people's memory, and you don't have the video footage right away. And some of the stores won't give you the video footage pre-suit. They make you sue them, and then you get the video footage, and you're like, oh, I wasted all this time, because we're contingency lawyers. We work. We only get paid when we collect money, and no one's going to pay you money when somebody injures themselves through no fault of the store. So. Totally. You guys do negligent security? We
do. So I've actually been dabbling a lot in that lately as I gain more experience. And those are interesting.
Can you explain negligent security for the people who don't know what that is?
In layman's terms, negligent security is basically if you're on a property, a mall, usually apartment complexes. That's a common one. Sometimes club shootings. You're injured, whether you're shot, it's during a commission of a crime. So it could be a robbery, burglary, rape, whatever. You're injured on someone's property based on their failure to provide adequate security. A lot of the cases we touch, or I touch, is dealing with apartment complexes failing to have adequate security. They have these gates that aren't working.
Right.
And so that's signaling that there should be security measures in this particular area or neighborhood, and you're not maintaining it. So that's where we come in to, fight for our clients, get them better, of course, treating, but get them paid. And then, unfortunately, some people end up actually being murdered or dying from a negligent security case.
Those are sad cases.
Very. Definitely have to have thick skin, and definitely have to learn how to not bring that with you home, for sure. So they're serious cases, though. It's very dark sometimes.
Yeah, I feel bad for those people that we like we take some of those cases, and I get those calls, and I'm like, oh man, I can't help you, because some of these bars, some of these nightclubs, they just rent the space.
They don't have insurance.
They don't own it. They don't have insurance. We get a lot of phone calls from these I don't know, they're nightclubs, but they're in a strip mall kind of place,
Okay, yeah.
And it's just like a retail plaza at night,
shopping plaza.
Yeah, and they're not really good. They don't have insurance, and people they don't want to respond. But what are some of the crazy cases you've had, like negligent security cases, without revealing anybody's name and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'll talk about one person, because technically they're not technically, they aren't my client anymore. I won't say any names, but we had a case. This was probably early on when I first started working or practicing. There was a shooting at Riviera Beach, Florida.
Okay.
It's a common neighborhood known for violence.
That's where I go to my dive shop. Is that?
I knew it.
Scuba diving. Yeah. I love that place.
So it's just not a good environment. It's been known to have problems for years. They actually changed the name to try to how nice. So she was actually, shot while on the property. So once again, the crime was she was being robbed. So we signed the case up. What's up? Let's get you better. Let's get you paid. This is wrong. This shouldn't happen. Do the investigations. Do the requests to get more documentation just to investigate. In the police report, this individual tells the cops willingly that they were selling drugs on the property, and their baser was trying to rob them, and that's why they shot them.
What's a baser? Am I stupid? What's a baser?
It's like a druggie. I don't know. I was trying to use it. I didn't want to say like a crackhead.
Oh, okay.
So someone who uses drugs.
Okay, gotcha.
They shot her or him. And I'm just so another thing with negligent security cases, the status of the person is very important, because the property owner doesn't have a duty if you're, there's certain levels of the duty they have. Yeah. You have to be an invitee. Basically, you have a right to be on the property, whatever reason it is. So it killed the case. I was just very stunned because, one, why would you tell the police that? Two, why are you involved in crimes and you don't even, you're snitching on yourself. That was the weird thing to me. So
have you ever watched the first 48?
Oh yeah.
Those guys, they fold quick. Yeah,
they fold quick.
Yeah.
It's don't even put yourself in that lifestyle if that's not for you. Go to be like me. I'm a lawyer. I know Jellen's informed me. So I wouldn't make it.
I don't know why they always snitch on. They're like, yeah, you caught me, man. I killed her. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. You're going to have to take me down. I'm going down with the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. No way. I'm not talking. So it's funny. I had a case just like that at a mobile home park. And the girl was buying drugs, and she got shot. And I didn't know she was buying drugs when she didn't say anything like that. She told the cops, yeah, I was buying drugs. I called the guy over. They had a lengthy history, her and this drug dealer. And it turns out that she actually tried robbing him with a taser. And then he shot her. And then she called the cops on him for getting shot when she tased him while she was trying to rob him. And I was like, oh, what a horrible case.
Yeah.
So those are tough cases because usually, not always, they're doing something that probably, like when you get shot or stabbed, it happens a lot, but not, you know, an innocent bystander is the client that you want to help because they're innocent. Right. They were just there. Bullet comes out of nowhere. And
liability is easier. You don't have to do that whole fight with what their status was because that's always what they're going to try to go to first. Well, we're sorry this happened, but we're not responsible.
Right. So you guys handle like rape at a hotel would be a negligent security case. If somebody was at the hotel, broke into a room, raped someone or something like that, that would be negligent security as well.
Yes. Especially if she,
like that?
I haven't, but my firm has had it before, like years ago. But mainly, as a woman, that would probably be deep. Yeah. But like I said, you have to have thick skin in this business because everyone thinks it's just the glitz and glam, like what we're doing now. No, it's some dark stuff in this business. Yeah. But commonly, what I've handled are shootings. Yeah. We actually have a case right now where there were innocent bystanders, kids. So
that's awful.
Like, fortunately, they didn't die. Yeah. So that's good, but. It's just crazy. It's crazy time we're living in. You got to keep yourself protected and safe. It's crazy.
And you got to be careful where you go. I had a case. I was just talking about it yesterday. We have an office in Fort Myers, and I go there pretty much every Thursday. And if you want to catch me, you know where to find me. Thursdays. So I'm in Fort Myers yesterday, and I was talking about it. It was the Lani Kai. It's like a rundown hotel on the water in Fort Myers area. Okay. And we represented a guy who was, it's like a bar. It's spring break a few years ago, and he got shot. Some guy came. There was like an altercation, pulled out a gun, shot a bunch of times into an open crowd of people. And they killed an 18-year-old guy who just was about to graduate, shot his cousin in the stomach. And then I represented a guy who got shot in both kneecaps with one bullet. It was the most bizarre thing. Went in and out both knees with no damage whatsoever, permanent damage. He had surgery at the hospital to clean everything out, but literally missed all of the important parts of his knee. And the guy did no physical therapy and was miraculously fine. Oh, wow. And luckily we were able to obtain a settlement for him. Margaritaville was going to buy this property, and the deal fell apart because of that shooting. They said, we don't want any liability with it. A young kid died. Like, I don't know what they were going to pay on something. I don't know what that's worth. He's 17, 18 years old. How can you put a number on something like that, you know?
Right.
And their insurance was $1 million. Mm-hmm. So that's not, that's not enough. And the property was going to sell for, I think, $30 million. But is $30 million enough for a dead 17-and-a-half-year-old kid? Like, no, you know?
Yeah, at the office, they always say, well, how much would you let someone shoot you for? Because it's literally, when you look, it's very heartbreaking sometimes because innocent lives are lost or affected. And, these insurance companies, they're offering this amount. It's like, that's...
Yeah, some of these companies lowball. Yeah.
Have you been dealing with issues with like exclusion clauses, like with insurance companies? Because that's the new thing there.
For auto stuff?
Just for like the negligent security cases.
Oh, I don't do that. I don't do that much.
Okay.
I don't do that
so
much.
Now that's something happening a lot lately. These apartment complexes are getting the cheapest policies possible. And they have like clauses in there basically saying, we're not liable for such and such acts, assault, battery. So that's been something, an issue I've been facing. And my boss has handled it a lot, Attorney Richard Rouse. So he knew what negligent security was back when it, first was a thing. And that wasn't the case. But now we're getting cases and I'm getting the experience to see like, whoa, so you're telling me that this wasn't a thing before? Because it's very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible when they're like, oh, there's no insurance. And it's like, all right, well, I'm still shot. So do you guys pursue these apartment complexes, or sometimes there's just not enough money, right?
We do, because we do our research to see if there's any like assets that we can tie them to. Because like you said, companies, they try to sell the property, they hurry up and get rid of it so we don't have any liability.
Right.
So we look to see, one, how much, like their appraisal of it, how much is it worth? What did it sell for? Okay, you might have some money there. So we dig and dig, because their first thing they're going to say is, oh, well, we're paying out of pocket. You know, we just want to tender it. You know, this is all we have. And it's like, there's something else somewhere. So we're going to get to the bottom of it.
There you go. There you go. So tell me about some of the cases that you have. You do litigate some of the cases yourself. You go to court.
So what's crazy, since I'm a pandemic lawyer, this week actually was my first in-person judicial proceeding. It's crazy. So everything I've been doing is Zoom.
So going to court in person.
So I'm finally getting that experience and dealing with not so friendly defendants.
I don't like defense counsel a lot of times. Some guys are professional and some guys are just like nasty human beings. They think it's their money. Yeah. And it's like, it's $1 billion client of yours money, and they're going to use your firm anyways because that's what you guys do. Why are you taking this so personal? Yeah. Have you had any bad experiences with opposing counsel yet or no? Like crazy experiences or not? I could talk about those.
Super. Ooh, please. I would love to hear about yours. But being young and new isn't always in my best interest, because sometimes how opposing counsel would talk to me wouldn't be how they would talk to my male boss, who's been in the game for 30 plus years. I'm not sure.
He's going to call you like 30 plus years? Come on. I don't know.
I'm just kidding. So definitely, I remember one time opposing counsel, we were dealing with trying to schedule a deposition. Mind you, it was our client. It's a minor. So they're in school. So no, he can't just come take a deposition at 1 o'clock in the middle of the day. Make it later. I politely conveyed this message. I keep a paper trail, because if it isn't in writing, it never happened. And so he randomly calls the office, like going off, like, you're a liar. Like I'm going to go to the judge. And me, I'm nervous because I've never been threatened by an attorney. Two, I don't want to jeopardize my license. So I'm like, did I do anything wrong? Like, he's like, I will go and file a complaint, and I'm going to go, and the judge is not going to be happy about this. You're tampering with evidence, like just going in on me. And it's like, wow. And, I didn't go back and forth because I'm very big on being professional. Like, I'm not going to tolerate disrespect, but I'm not going to go there with you, at least in my professional life, my professional world. So that was shocking to me, because I was always taught to be professional. And typically 9 times out of 10, opposing counsel is going to be older. So I'm always going to give respect. Like, if you're I won't give out any numbers, but if you're past a certain age, I'm going to call you Mr. or Mrs. That's just how I was raised, the Louisiana hospitality. So that was one of them. And I noticed a lot of defense firms, it's like a waiting game, I guess. They want to get more time. So they'll ask for an extension of time.
Oh, then, they want billable hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. And then they file a motion to dismiss. And it's like, so I'm learning that's kind of something that happens a lot.
They use the process. So we do a lot of PIP litigation at our firm. And so we sue them for underpaying a bill. And their response is to move to dismiss the case for no reason other than, hey, we could bill the insurance company like $500 or whatever for every motion to dismiss.
Right.
But you can't dismiss a PIP suit for underpayment. It'll never happen. Yeah. Not once in eternity has it ever been successfully won and argued. Yeah. Yet they file it every time, because then they file that for $500 and they file the answer to the complaint. And so they just like play the game, and they schedule depots and cancel depots, and it's so frustrating. Yeah, I think that's another thing that used to frustrate me until I learned that was a part of the game in the process. Because I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, aren't we supposed to be working together? But we're on plaintiff side, so we're working on a contingency fee. They're like you said, billing those hours, so they're doing every little thing. So I understand everything is business. We all need our money. So that's an interesting case. I'm trying to think what else. Nothing out of the ordinary, just the typical like games and stuff. Like, the worst I had, I'll tell you. So I had a guy. He's a partner at literally the top 2 defense firms in Florida. They have more than 10, 15 offices. Okay. And this is over a pre-suit auto accident where the guy wanted to take an examination under oath, which is basically like an in-person recorded statement under oath of a client who's in a car accident. And he took this lady's EUO and asked her a million questions she was in a car accident, so she had neck and low back pain, right? What body part do you think he preferred to talk about the most? Her vagina and her gyno appointments. And when's the last time you went to a doctor? And she's like, went to a gyno. Because every woman goes, yeah. She's like, wait, what are we talking about? And
you threw me with that one. Because I'm like, is this a trick question?
No. So,
wow.
One of the attorneys that works for me is like, Abe, you need to come over here. Because he was doing it, on the phone. And he's like, this guy's being weird. So I go over. Now he's a named partner at a huge firm. And he starts going on. And I said, sir, are you asking my client about her vagina? Like the EUO transcripts are hilarious. And I'm like, are you asking her about her vagina and her gyno appointments? Because I think that's really inappropriate because we're not here for any pain down there. We're here for neck and low back. And he's like, well, I need to find out because sometimes, that kind of pain could be related to her low back. And I'm like, it's more likely that it's caused from whiplash, which is common after a car accident. And he got all like defensive and he was older than me. Yeah. And it got to the point where he literally, I said, sir, if you're going to ask her one more question about that, I'm going to cancel the EUO. And then he started in with I'm a lawyer, I'm smarter than you. Yeah. And that's where he lost. He said, well then, so you're canceling the EUO. I said, no, you're canceling it by your behavior. Right. It's inappropriate. Right. And he's like, I have 3 sisters growing up and I was raised by my mother. And I was like, I was raised by my mother and I know better. You should know better. And ended the EUO. He asked for it again 6 months later. It's still pre-suit. We haven't filed a lawsuit. It was like a 10K BI policy. No, I'm sorry. It was a 10K BI, but it was first party. So it was a UM. The lady had 10K UM and PIP and PIP. And so this guy took her EUO 6 months later and starts going in again. I said, sir, I'm warning you, this is not going to go well for you. And the guy's like, you can't tell me what to do. And I said, oh, I am. Yeah. I am. I'm telling you what to do. You did. I did. And he was super pissed. And he messaged me in an email. He messaged me, you need to call me. This was after like that nasty thing. You need to message me before your head hits the pillow. And I emailed him back. I was like, sir, I don't know what your fascination is with me in bed, but it needs to stop right now because you're obsessed about my client's vagina and now me in bed and I'm concerned.
The entitlement is real. So it doesn't stop because I'm glad you're sharing this with me because I just always feel like, because I'm new and young, I'm always going to be targeted. But hearing from you.
Yeah. And you're a woman. Sorry.
I forgot to mention that part. Woman. It helps sometimes. But in those instances, it's like people sometimes talk to you like you're a dog. Yeah. And you have to, and I have to be careful as a Black woman to not be the angry Black woman.
I don't want to say it.
I said it. Black and proud. But so it's hard to monitor because I'm big on, my professional reputation. There's a lot of things that go on, there's no perfect situation, but I don't want to be known as that attorney that is just bitter and evil. I don't want to be that attorney when I do get older as a woman that kind of hates on or just downplays the new upcoming attorneys. I want to be, an uplifting person. So it's very confusing to me when people who have all this success, so we think, maybe different behind closed doors. Why are you so angry? Yeah. Why are you so mean? And because I give respect, I always start off and, they give us advice. We had a new attorney breakfast with the Palm Beach County Bar about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I was jealous. I wasn't invited because I'm 37 now. So I'm too old.
And the women actually on the panel actually gave us advice too, with dealing with problematic people in depositions and the attorneys trying to interrupt or throw you off and everything, and just to always be professional and let them show their behinds and you be the bigger person, and then it'll all work out. But I think the entitlement is crazy, and I think that I know that a lot of attorneys who you may have this experience or have this position at their firm think that I guess other people work for them, and it's like, I'm not employed by you. I'll take messages and orders or assignments from my boss, but from you, absolutely not. Because there are times where it doesn't bother me, but there are times where opposing counsel will call me, like giving me instructions or trying to make their, I guess, job easier, like giving me an assignment. Like, no, you can do the work. Why would I do that? You're in the billable hours. You can find that out.
You draft that order. I'm not doing
you can figure it out.
Yeah, that's funny. You just reminded me how shitty attorneys can be. I had this young lawyer work for me, short guy, Napoleon Complex, and he goes,
that's real. That is real.
All the time. Short male lawyers have the biggest Napoleon Complex. if you're a short lawyer watching this, I'm sorry. He goes to the paralegals. I'm up here. You're down here. Get used to it. And he'd been an attorney for 1 year. And I'm like, you can't say that. And then he went on to say the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He goes, tattoos are trashy. And all the girls have tattoos, especially nowadays. No, I just saw some of your stuff.
Like, I like that.
They have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah,
that one has a whole sleeve. I like her. But she's fun. But yeah, so I was like, why would you say that? I was like, what are you trying to accomplish? Like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't have to be friends with them. I'm like, you got to work with them, though. And I don't know on what planet you could tell a girl, tattoos are trashy, man. It's just like inappropriate. So I don't know. It's like a learning curve. Being a lawyer, you're going to learn a lot of stuff, but you're also going to learn that a lot of lawyers are shitty and just evil people, and it's so annoying. So
yeah. So can I tell you something? Yeah. You know, my mom, and to this day, she'll tell anyone, she never wanted me to be an attorney.
Oh,
because of like who I am naturally. She's like, you're not built for that. She gets a cutthroat, grimy. She's like, you're not built for it. Because I am, but I use it to my advantage. I think being sensitive and actually caring for people actually helps with clientele and actually being more relatable and personable, you know? But definitely the attorneys, poor him. I guess maybe he's grown a little bit. I'm not sure. But I think a lot of times attorneys, you know, it's just it's a power struggle. I have been fortunate or unfortunate, I don't know. I guess fortunate because it's given me a great learning experience. I understand the work that paralegals or receptionists do because I don't personally have that for myself. So I do, you know, a lot of the work that the busy worker that a paralegal may do. But I have respect for them. I know what being on the other, I know I have respect for them. So I know a lot of attorneys feel that like, oh, I went to law school, I'm the lawyer. But really, when I meet other people and just my experiences, it's like, just because you're an attorney doesn't mean you know anything. A lot of times it's the team that you have that's uplifting you and making you, you know, appear to be. So awesome. That's sad.
That's the right mindset.
The ego is so good. Ego
I'm so excited
is so
for you.
Fragile.
So excited for you. The only thing I am jealous about, and I'll tell you right now, your Instagram.
Really?
You're everywhere. You're everywhere. I post a bunch of lobster photos.
Yeah.
It's weird, right?
No, I like it.
Okay, good. But you post photos networking everywhere. And I'm like, damn it, I didn't get a single invite.
Oh, Abe, stop. No, it's definitely something I have to do. You don't have to do it as much as I do, perhaps, because
I network.
Everyone knows you.
I network. That's because I networked so much back in the day. So I have 2 kids and I can't network. My wife's like, you're staying home. Yeah. You're gonna stop networking. So I can only network at the things that I have events for.
And you throw amazing events,
which is why I throw them, because I can't get out. My wife won't let me go to someone else's, so I got to do my own. So
understood.
But we throw some good ones.
No. Definitely.
Fun ones.
You haven't been to one, you're missing out.
Have you been to the Halloween? You went to
I went to the Halloween. That's where I met you.
Yeah, that's where I met you.
Guys, so I didn't know how awesome this man was. I didn't know he was dealing with Tesla awesome. MRI owner. I'm just thinking, you know, it's just because I met Jessica.
Yeah, Jessica.
At an event. And so I thought that was just her, that she was the marketer and that was her. So I was at your event. Didn't even know I knew who you were because I told you.
Yeah, I remember
one of your cards was mailed to my house. So I knew who you were. Yeah. But so everyone's like, how do you know Abe? How do you know Abe? I'm like, who's Abe? And I can't remember who brought me up to you, but it was definitely an introduction worth having because shout out to you because as I was just speaking on the older seasoned attorneys, like I appreciate the fact that you're a successful attorney with experience and offices everywhere, but you still take time to, you know, give, you know, mentorship, guidance, and just even a simple hello. Because if I had $1 for as many attorneys that I encounter that, you know, kind of brush me to the side when I try to, you know, just be nice. Because you never know. We may work together. We may be on the...
You may be a judge one day.
Right. Ooh, let's put that out there.
You could do it 5 years.
It's just, I appreciate the good energy. And that's that's why you're blessed and fortunate to have everything that you have. Because you I don't know everything you do, but I see what you do.
Started from nothing.
You told me that.
I had some kid tell me I was a silver spoon kid. I was like, what? Where's the spoon? I want it.
No, you told me that. You said 10 years, you said? After 10 years, it all... Or has it been 10 years? I can't remember. Because we were talking about it and I was like...
I'm old now.
I was like,
I got barred in 09.
Because I was like, how did you do this? And you told me from the beginning that you started from nothing. And I think
I couldn't get a job. So I opened my own firm. Nobody wanted to hire me. They wanted to pay me $19 an hour. And I was like, what? I went to law school and I had $100,000 in debt. And they're like, but I graduated in 2009, so it was like a bad economy.
Yeah,
you were probably like in elementary school, or I don't know.
I was in high school, freshman probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, it was a horrible time to be a lawyer, to become a lawyer, and then the law school I went to, FIU Law.
Oh, I know that was expensive.
It was cheap.
Really?
It was the cheapest law school in the state of Florida at that time, pretty much. Yeah, because it was just brand new. It wasn't accredited that first year.
Okay.
And then that's why I did that donation to the school, their career planning and placement, because I couldn't get a job. So I was like, all right, I'll donate here. But nobody wanted to hire me. It was a bad time. So I just opened up on my own out of my mom's apartment. And then, right now we're at 4 offices.
Look at you. Look at this.
And we grind. I love what I do. So it's fun.
That's so inspiring.
Thank you.
Can't wait to be like you one day.
You're going to be 10 times bigger. Because I'm going to guide you.
Please. Yes. It's hard out here. Definitely. It's good to have mentors and even just friends, in this, because it's a kind of a cold business sometimes. So to meet people with personality and that are actually, I'm
going to introduce you to all my cool friends.
Please.
There you go. Like Josie Williams.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's beautiful too. Hey, Josie. Yeah.
All right, cool. So people watch this podcast. They love you. They want to get a hold of you. How do they do it? How do they find you?
So you guys can find me and follow me, please. I follow back. My Instagram is Imani M Williams, ESQ. I'm also on Facebook, so I market on there sometimes.
Nobody uses that anymore.
Really? Yeah. So Instagram and TikTok are my main, marketing go-to. So my TikTok is Imani IMA. Do I have to spell it?
Yeah.
Okay. So my TikTok is Imani. I'm not going to spell it.
We'll put it on
you
there.
can splice it.
We'll throw it on there. Don't worry about it. We'll throw it on the comment section for people. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're on TikTok?
Yes.
You gotta help me out. I'll get you a landing page. You get me on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm too old for TikTok.
No, you're not.
I'm too old.
You're not.
I'm not? Okay.
You're not old.
I'm like the over the hill gang, man. I downloaded TikTok.
You have more leverage than I do when it comes to marketing because you've made a name for yourself, so you can be more fun. I mean, I show personality in my videos, but I still, as a new young attorney, it's like I need you to know that I still mean business. Like I know my stuff. So you actually have more freedom.
I thought TikTok's all dances.
Yeah.
Can you teach me one of the dances? I'm still learning how to floss.
This.
Yeah, my son tries to get me to do it, and I don't think he's got the same moves I got. So
we can work on it.
We'll work on it.
We got it.
All right, cool. So, all right, thank you.
That
was awesome, and we'll get you posted on there. Thank you. It'll be good. Cool. It's fun.
Amazing.
Figure out how to play.
This was like the best thing that happened to me this month because April is a shitty month.